Welcome back to They Said Quotes, the channel dedicated to the remarkable words of the most inspired individuals in the world. Today, we embark on a journey of self-discovery and inner growth. In this one-hour video, we'll delve into the vast and profound world of stoicism, a philosophy that has inspired generations to find true happiness, wisdom, and inner peace throughout their journey. We'll explore various aspects of stoicism, from the timely wisdom of Marcus Aurelius to the fundamental principles that can transform our lives. Together, we'll unravel the secret to happiness through amor fati, the love of fate, learning to embrace everything life has in store for us. We'll explore the dichotomy of life, a powerful tool to help us make clear decisions and achieve serenity amid chaos. Additionally, we'll identify 6 historical habits to avoid in order to maintain tranquility and clarity in our lives. Furthermore, we'll discover how we can become masters of our own lives by incorporating historical routines, cultivating calmness, and inner invincibility. Let's learn to apply Marcus Aurelius' reflections to create fulfilling and productive days while mastering the art of avoiding procrastination, using stoicism as our compass. So, without further ado, let's embark on our historical journey in search of a more fulfilling and meaningful life in this fast-paced modern world. Finding a solid purpose can be a challenge, but fear not, Stoicism has the answer. Explore the wisdom and practicality of this ancient philosophy and learn how to create a daily routine that leads to unparalleled balance, growth, and serenity. Stoicism is your ally on the journey to a virtuous life. This philosophy has withstood the test of time, remaining relevant to help you become stronger, calmer, and fully satisfied. Get ready to transform your life with us on this adventure of self-discovery. As we explore how to create a morning and evening routine that propels you toward greatness, wake up each morning with determination and excitement. Reflect on the 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. They are the moral compass for making wise and courageous decisions, always seeking balance in every aspect of life. Gratitude will be your powerful ally. Embrace gratitude for all the blessings, experiences, and people enriching your existence. Discover how appreciation fills you with joy and liberates you from any trace of dissatisfaction. Anticipate the day with a powerful perspective. Practice negative visualization by facing potential challenges wisely and serenely, ready to adapt and grow in the face of adversity. Bring historical magic to life through writing. Maintain a journal where you record your intentions, emotions, and observations. This journal will be a beacon of wisdom and guidance, reminding you of your path even in the most challenging moments. Be prepared to face the world with historical elegance. Learn to maintain focus and productivity in a world full of distractions. Practice justice and compassion in every interaction, opening your heart to a deeper understanding of the human experience. Confront stress with posture and perspective, remembering that you can only control what is in your hands. Wisdom will guide you as the night falls, and it's time to recharge. Reflect on the day's events, learn from experiences, and commit to constant improvement. Set your intentions for tomorrow and chart a powerful and courageous path. A future full of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance awaits. Be the architect of your life, using stoicism as your tool. Personalize your journey to success by finding the formula that fits your dreams, values, and daily commitments. Stoicism is versatile. Keep the passion for your historical practice and establish a constant and consistent routine. Stoicism offers you a path of transformation and growth. Discover the magic of bringing stoicism into every aspect of your life. Instill wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance in your relationships, work, and personal projects. In a world of change and uncertainty, stoicism will be your guide to balance, resilience, and inner peace. Embrace life with purpose and clarity on the historical path. Move forward with strength and conviction. Wisdom is almost always by your side, and each day is an opportunity to grow and learn. May clarity and serenity accompany you always in your quest for a fulfilling and meaningful life. Practice gratitude. Wake up with a heart full of joy and abundance, with the 4 cardinal virtues illuminating your path. Direct your attention to all the blessings enriching your life, and you'll find that appreciation and gratitude dissolve any shadow of dissatisfaction or lingering desire. In this state of sincere gratitude, approach the day with a sense of fullness and happiness, focusing on what truly matters. Cultivate the habit of thanking for all the good and the constant progress. As Emerson said, prepare for the day with negative visualization, imagining potential challenges and setbacks. But worry not, you are prepared to face them with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. As you contemplate these scenarios and their potential outcomes, develop a silent resilience ready to adapt and grow in the face of adversity. Now, it's time to put your wisdom and reflections on paper. Keeping a journal is a powerful tool used by historical figures like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius. Dedicate a few moments every morning to write about your intentions, emotions, and observations. By doing so, you'll create a beacon of wisdom and warmth that will guide you through the challenges of modern life. As we navigate the ever-changing landscape of daily life, we may face moments that test our determination. But fear not, stoicism has the answer. Through a series of historical strategies, you'll maintain balance, cultivate resilience, and embark on the journey of life with grace and fortitude. When stress arises, remember that wisdom is within you. Seek refuge in reason and reflection. Focus your energy on what you can control and let go of what is beyond your grasp. This way, you'll respond to stress with composure, resilience, and wisdom. The main task in life is simply this: to identify and separate things so that you can clearly say which are external and not under your control, and which have to do with your choices and control. The good and the bad are not outside, not uncontrolled, but within you, in your choices. Remember the words of Epictetus on your journey toward gratitude and resilience. Stoicism will guide you with its wisdom through time. Awaken with the certainty that each day is an opportunity to grow, learn, and become stronger. Embrace life with purpose and clarity on the historical path to a fulfilling and meaningful life. Transform distractions into opportunities for productivity. In the whirlwind of modern life, distractions constantly lurk, but like a courageous historical figure, you cultivate the virtue of temperance by practicing self-discipline and moderation. When these distractions appear, accept them, but gently redirect your attention to the task at hand. This will nurture inner calm and allow you to harness the power of your mind to achieve your goals. When interacting with others, manifest the historical virtues of justice, wisdom, and compassion. Each encounter offers the opportunity to leave a positive and lasting impression. Be aware of the impact of your words and actions on those around you. Through each interaction, learn, grow, and deepen your understanding of the human experience. Today, you may encounter interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, and selfishness. All of this stems from the ignorance of the offenders about what is good or bad. But for your part, you've long recognized the nature of good and its nobility, the nature of evil and its pettiness, and also the nature of the wrongdoer, who is your brother not in a physical sense but as a fellow being endowed with reason and a share of the divine. Therefore, none of this can harm you, as no one can involve you in what is degrading. You cannot be angry with your brother or be upset with him because both he and you were born to work together, just as the feet or eyelids of a man or the upper and lower rows of his teeth obstruct each other. It goes against the law of nature, and what is irritation or aversion? It is not outside, not uncontrollable, but within yourself, in your choices. Remember these words as you journey toward gratitude and resilience. Stoicism will guide you with its wisdom. It's a form of obstruction. Marco Aurelius teaches us to embrace adversity and flourish in resilience. In the journey of life, we encounter unexpected challenges, moments of adversity that can either strengthen us or break us, like a courageous story. See these challenges as opportunities for growth. Cultivate courage and wisdom to face adversity with grace. By practicing negative visualization, trust the internal resilience you've nurtured along your historical path. This will transform trials into valuable lessons, steps on your path toward personal growth and fulfillment. As the night approaches and the day comes to an end, direct your gaze inward. Reflect on the day's events, identifying challenges, decisions, and lessons. As Seneca said, "I shall keep watch over myself and, the most useful vigil I ever underwent, I shall do my best to put each day up for review. For this is the thing which will make us wicked, that none of us looks back over his own life." Forgive yourself and move towards personal improvement. Practice self-forgiveness with compassion and understanding. Acknowledge that personal growth is a continuous process. Learn from your mistakes and commit to improvement. Nurture inner peace and self-acceptance as you continue evolving on your historical path. Set intentions for the new dawn with the wisdom acquired during the day. Define intentions for the next day, incorporating historical virtues into your actions, decisions, and interactions. This way, you'll create a model for a harmonious and purposeful life guided by Stoic principles. Immerse yourself in a night of relaxation before surrendering to sleep. Practice relaxation techniques like deep breathing or meditative visualization. Calm your mind and body, releasing the tensions of the day. This will lead to restorative sleep, ready to embrace each new day as an opportunity for growth and learning. The world seems capable of offering us the best and the worst. Often, we find joy, satisfaction, happiness, love, and health. Yet, at other times, we face suffering, pain, death, illness, and misfortunes. Life, just or unjust, seems like a river whose course we cannot control. Epictetus said, "Do not fight against the currents of fate, embrace them, for only in acceptance will you find inner peace." In Stoicism, this acceptance or embrace of one's fate is known as amor fati, the love of one's fate. This entails loving one's life with all its joys and misfortunes as the most perfect gift one could have received. While it may seem easy to say, it's challenging to practice. How can one love suffering? How can one express gratitude, for example, for the death of loved ones? How can one find beauty in pain? The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, knew exactly what they were saying. Being a Stoic, like Marcus Aurelius, means loving one's own existence to the fullest, with its clear and obscure moments, providing the best opportunity to achieve virtue and find true happiness. Marcus Aurelius said, "Love the fate you have embraced, no matter what form it takes. Only through the acceptance of each moment can you find true serenity." In this video, I will try to help you practice the doctrine of amor fati so that you can become more virtuous and happy. I will divide the video into two parts. First, I will try to explain what fate means to a Stoic and why it should be loved. Then, I will give you 5 pieces of advice to put this doctrine into practice and persevere in it gradually. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you could give this video a like, as it helps spread this philosophy to more people. If you don't want to miss any videos, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. I will also leave a link in the description of this video to my other social media, where I share more Stoic content. The ancient Stoics believed that chance did not exist. They believed that everything in the world functioned thanks to necessary and rational laws made by the gods themselves. Therefore, they understood the universe as a whole, with its parts in perfect order and harmony. Everything that happened in the world had an explanation, a purpose, and a reason. In other words, everything followed a rational law. For the Stoics, this rational law governing the universe was also within the human being, within their consciousness. This allowed a person to know what was rational and virtuous. Therefore, whoever follows what their consciousness dictates becomes rational and virtuous, while anyone who moves away from the law of the universe present in the human mind becomes irrational and moves away from virtue. The rational plan that the cosmos established for each of us is what we can call fate. Our individual destiny is part of this harmonious whole that is the universe. Therefore, everything that happens to us, whether good or bad, and even if we cannot understand or control it, is necessary and has an explanation. Everything obeys a logic and has a meaning, even if we cannot always see it. For this reason, even in the worst moments, we need to strive to see beyond ourselves, accept the order for us, and live with serenity. This is what it means to love one's destiny. However, it is crucial to distinguish between acceptance and resignation. Resignation is negative. It implies refusing to act in the face of what displeases us. On the other hand, acceptance is positive. It recognizes what is and guides action according to the things that have happened to us. As you can imagine, a Stoic avoids resignation and seeks acceptance. In acceptance, the Stoic dichotomy of control is fundamental. Generally, the events of the universe, such as health or illness, disasters or miracles, life or death, are not under our control. We cannot change them, and that's why our hearts should not be troubled by them. What is under our control is our judgment of what happens and our will. As Epictetus said so well, the will can control itself, but nothing else can control it. We have the great power to choose what we do and how we react to the circumstances that have been imposed on us. We can choose between fleeing from our own destiny or accepting it and facing it as the path that has been assigned to us and in which we must seek our happiness. This is what it means to be a historical individual, to choose to accept our destiny and align our will with virtue and good. Or, on the other hand, to choose to reject our reality and seek vice and evil. The essence of good and evil lies in the attitude of the will, says Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius would add that as for things that are truly evil, such as vice and wickedness, these things were placed in the hands of man by the gods so that he can avoid them if he so desires. In any situation, whatever it may be, it is in our hands to react by seeking good or seeking evil. For example, if we are sick, we can fight to try to recover and live the best way possible even when sick, or we can abandon ourselves, act irrationally, neglect ourselves, and become angry with everything and everyone. If we seek virtue and good, adjusting ourselves to our conscience, making everything that happens in our lives enrich our existence and make us better, we will become masters of the 4 Stoic virtues. Good moments will bring us joy, although we must remember that they will not be eternal. Recall the teaching from my video on the virtue of temperance, this too shall pass. Bad moments will make us strong and test us, and even though they are very difficult, they will make us better people in the end. Remember that these bad moments will also pass and that they are as or more necessary than moments of well-being. Therefore, to practice amor fati, we also need the virtue of courage. We need to be courageous to face all the storms that surprise and assail us. So, whoever practices amor fati also masters the virtues of justice and wisdom. They learn to give each moment its due and, above all, to know this rational law that governs the world and makes our individual destiny the best gift we have to move toward a full and true happiness. As you've seen, the doctrine of amor fati sets in motion the 4 Stoic virtues and invites us to give the best of ourselves. It implies loving our own destiny and understanding that our own life is the best and most beautiful. The opportunity we have to strive for virtue and a fulfilling existence. Don't you think a life without struggle and the pursuit of happiness wouldn't be worth it? Moreover, isn't it true that there is no happiness without sacrifice and commitment, without accepting what has been given to us? We must love our own destiny and align our will to fulfill what reason tells us, as this is the historical path towards true and complete happiness. To conclude the video, I would like to share with you several historical quotes about amor fati, love of fate, which says that destiny leads those who accept it and drags those who refuse to acknowledge it. It also points out that there is no one less fortunate than a person forgotten by adversity, as they miss the opportunity to be tested. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is the nature of the wise to love whatever is assigned by fate and not to wish for things to be otherwise." Epictetus could add, "Do not seek for events to happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and your life will go smoothly." What do you think of the historical doctrine of amor fati? Do you agree with your destiny? Is there any circumstance in your life that you cannot accept, something you have embraced exactly as it happened? I await your response in the comments. Blessed is the person who recognizes the bonds to which they are tied because, consciously, they can break them in the fast-paced and ever-changing world we live in. Often, we let ourselves be carried away by habits that are not only unproductive but also destructive. The Stoics emphasize the importance of focusing on what we can control, freeing ourselves from the chains of the uncontrollable and erratic impulses and lust. Today, I'll share with you 6 destructive habits that I have personally had and that are very common in the modern world. These habits can obstruct our mental peace, personal growth, and our ability to live a virtuous life. Before going through these points, I ask you to be self-critical, looking at yourself in the third person. This will allow you to analyze which of these 6 bad habits are affecting you and then take full responsibility for facing them. The first habit is postponing commitments. This is an insidious habit that we all tend to adopt. Although it may seem harmless, it has consequences. When we don't act on what needs to be done, procrastination can lead to not fulfilling our personal and professional obligations. It can also harm the quality of our work, affecting our reputation and the trust others have in us. The Stoics viewed procrastination as one of the greatest disrespect one can commit to oneself. Procrastination results in increased stress and anxiety as tasks accumulate and deadlines approach. This constant attention affects our mental and physical health, distancing us from mental clarity and a peaceful mind. Imagine you have an important project with a deadline. Instead of dividing the work into manageable parts, it's more feasible to spread the work over several days than to accumulate it all at once. The habit of postponing commitments is destructive, going against the principles of stoicism, leading to wasted time, unfulfilled obligations, and increased stress and anxiety. We can combat it by practicing planning, self-discipline, and focus on our responsibilities and values. To avoid this, I recommend never promising something in strong emotion, especially when you're euphoric. This is because emotions of the moment often form the basis of decisions rather than clear thinking. Before committing, carefully evaluate, especially in moments of solitude. Avoid promising anything when you're happy and steer clear of impulsive decisions. The second habit is lying. The liar is a victim of their own fears and will eventually be caught by them. Lying undermines truth and integrity, principles valued by the Stoics. When we lie, we deviate from these ideals and compromise our own character. Furthermore, lying diminishes the quality of relationships and results in the loss of trust. Lies can erode the trust others have in us, and once a lie is discovered, it's challenging to regain lost trust. Trust and mutual respect were fundamental to the Stoics in healthy and enriching relationships. Lying creates a complex and exhausting cycle of lies, leading to unnecessary stress and anxiety. For example, suppose you come across sensationalist news on social media and immediately share it without verifying the information or considering the source. Later, you discover the news was false, and you feel deceived and embarrassed. Additionally, by sharing the news, you spread misinformation and could have negatively influenced the opinions and actions of others. Believing everything we hear is a destructive habit that inhibits critical thinking and makes us susceptible to manipulation and undue influence. It's necessary to fact-check information, learn to contrast sources, and, above all, develop our own judgments. A person without their own criteria and the authority to apply their conclusions is prone to the influences of others. The fourth habit is a lack of communication skills. Effective communication is an essential skill in our personal and professional relationships. It seems like we've lost the value of good language and communication skills, as reflected in today's poor conversations where people are no longer interested in each other and don't truly listen to what the other person is saying. The lack of communication skills can lead to misunderstandings and conflicts. The Stoics recognize the importance of harmony and cooperation in our relationships, and poor communication can jeopardize these ideals. If we don't know how to communicate effectively, we'll have difficulty expressing our needs and feelings, leading to dissatisfaction, frustration, and resentment. The Stoics believe that effective communication should be a value exchange between participants. Conversations should be enriching and not futile. Not knowing how to communicate is a destructive habit that can lead to misunderstandings, conflicts, and difficulties expressing our needs and feelings. I recommend expanding your communication skills and vocabulary by reading or consuming valuable content. The practice of active listening has been beneficial for me. Instead of thinking about how you will respond, focus on the conversation and pay attention to what the person is saying. This will make the dialogue fluid and make the other person feel valued when speaking to you. With continuous practice, your communication will reach excellence. The fifth habit is constant comparison with others. Wanting to outdo others is a recurring habit that can undermine self-esteem and life satisfaction. Constant comparison can lead to dissatisfaction and unhappiness, as there will always be someone who seems to have more success, wealth, or talent. The Stoics teach us to focus on our own development and appreciate what we have instead of constantly comparing ourselves to others. Constantly comparing ourselves to others can make us lose our identity and authenticity, as we might try to change who we are to fit into standards or expectations. Remember that this is not useful in the long run because you can pretend, but you will end up being who you are. The Stoics encourage us to be true to ourselves and live according to our own values and principles. Imagine that you always compare yourself to your colleagues, feeling that you are never good enough. Constant comparison can lead to burnout, dissatisfaction, and unhappiness, distancing you from your true self. Constantly comparing yourself to others is a destructive habit that distances you from your identity and authenticity. This changes when you realize that it's not worth always keeping an eye on others because you already have what you need at home. If you don't find what you're looking for at home, you always will. Looking elsewhere is futile. Understand that comparison is pointless because you will never have everything. You will be much happier when your main goal is to improve compared to who you were yesterday and compete with yourself. The sixth habit is seeking external blame in our lives. In modern society, it's common to see people searching for external culprits for what happens in their lives, instead of taking personal responsibility. This approach takes away control and autonomy because by blaming others for our circumstances, we relinquish control over our lives. The Stoics emphasize the importance of recognizing what is in our control and what is not. Blaming others takes us away from this understanding. This habit can lead to a victim mentality and promote emotional dependence, making us highly reliant on others for our stability. When we seek external blame for our lives, we lose the opportunity to learn from our mistakes and grow as individuals. This habit deprives us of personal responsibility. The Stoics remind us to understand and accept what is under our control and take responsibility for it, avoiding the trap of blaming others for our circumstances. As valuable individuals, we are called to be aware of these behaviors and work to overcome them to live a life of virtue, wisdom, and inner tranquility. I invite you to reflect on these habits in your own life and truly embrace the ones you are connected to. Free yourself from them. From here on, you are the one building your own path. Moral evolution doesn't mean completely erasing ancient maxims, but critically examining them to decide which ones remain, which ones go away, and which new principles should be included. Part of my ethical code, as well as yours, has notable Judeo-Christian influences. I recognize forgiveness and offer it, treating others as I would like to be treated. I avoid coveting others' possessions and deeply appreciate the good things life offers me. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. In the city of Corinth in 300 BC, there lived a very wealthy merchant named Music. Due to a single event completely beyond his control, this once wealthy man became. Imagine if you were Zeno. How would you react if the work of your entire life was lost due to natural forces? What would be the appropriate reaction? For most of us, these would be normal reactions, but not for Zeno. The father of Stoicism, a small shift lasts an eternity, and a small shift in mentality can produce larger, more impactful changes down the road. The essence of Stoicism is the very definition of acceptance and indifference. After reading the works of Socrates and other great philosophers, Zeno created and taught Stoicism. The second habit is non-attachment. While we don't have much control over what happens to us, we have control over how it affects us. We should use this control effectively instead of lamenting over spilled milk, or in this case, sunken goods. Zeno focused on maintaining composure in the face of music, his dilemma. Nowadays, people inadvertently see the Stoics as unshakable individuals, those who rarely experience extreme emotions like fits of anger or anxiety attacks. But the original idea of Stoicism was much deeper than describing emotionless people. Stoicism was a way of seeing, describing, and understanding the world. It was a way of life that endured through the centuries. Stoic philosophy can be applied to current situations just as it was applied thousands of years ago, and its benefits are equally impactful. Stoicism allows us to process negative emotions and adverse experiences, transforming them into thoughts that provide us with a unique perspective on the world. Perspective is everything, and each person in the world has different experiences and thus different perspectives on things. Just as the Stoics gathered, discussed, and taught philosophy in public places, their philosophy was widely known. They believed that Stoic principles could greatly benefit everyone, from slaves to emperors. Some of the world's most notable Stoics include Epictetus, who was a freed slave and renowned statesman, and Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and one of the most powerful men to have ever lived. The early Stoics practiced what they preached, avoiding all forms of segregation and leading the fight against inequality. They even coined the word cosmopolitan, literally meaning citizen of the world. At the time of the Stoic foundation, women were not allowed to dedicate themselves to philosophy, but the Stoics disagreed deeply: music. Not only do men possess a natural inclination for virtue, but women do as well. Women delight no less than men in noble and just actions and reject the opposite of these. So why do so many people adopt Stoicism as a way of life? In a world full of unexpected events, our emotions tend to get in the way. In reality, we are not sad because bad things happen to us, but because unexpectedly bad things happen. Rain is a good thing. It helps water the plants, provides water for livestock, and keeps the temperature cool and moist. But when caught in a downpour without an umbrella, it's never a good experience. So why don't we cry when it starts raining? Because, even though the situation is bad, we've learned to expect it. It's inevitable. We can't control the weather. In the end, the rain passes, and light returns. Stoicism teaches us that similarly, we should expect that all the bad things that will happen will happen. One of the Stoic exercises is voluntary discomfort, an exercise intended to increase feelings of gratitude. Sleeping on the floor of your kitchen, taking cold showers when you usually take hot ones, eating only potatoes for a few days, these kinds of things. This exercise helps us understand that no matter how difficult things are, you will survive and potentially thrive if your mindset is correct. By being able to endure these uncomfortable situations, we are indirectly preparing our mindset for future hardships. In the current state of the world, where advertising constantly makes us believe that we will only be happy if we have the best, a specific appearance, or a certain amount of money, the message of Stoicism is now more important than ever. We are born into the world knowing very little about anything. We grow up learning things at home, in school, and by observing the world for ourselves. The challenge is that these three sources of knowledge often teach us different things. We need to internalize all this knowledge. If we do, we might inadvertently create unrealistic expectations for our lives, eventually leaving us disappointed and dissatisfied. This is not a way to live. Surrounded by the opinions, expectations, and judgments of others, our inner peace becomes a constant struggle. Solitude allows us to distance ourselves from external influences and begin to trust our own wisdom and discernment. The opportunity to master oneself. The ancients believed that one of the greatest achievements of self-sufficiency was the high level of control. When we are alone, we must deal with our own emotional reactions and impulses, learning to observe them without automatically giving in to them. This high level of control enables us to make conscious and ethical decisions instead of reacting automatically to situations. Learning to live with less in a world obsessed with accumulation and consumption, self-sufficiency allows us to live with less. The ancients valued simplicity and moderation. Solitude gives us the opportunity to appreciate the essential and not depend on material possessions for satisfaction. We learn to find wealth within ourselves instead of seeking it in the external world. Facing emotions. Now we will address a topic that deeply concerns us all, facing emotions from a historical perspective. How do you calmly deal with your emotions? Solitude can be a valuable ally in this process. Understanding emotions. The ancients understood that emotions were part of the human experience but also recognized the importance of not being enslaved by them. Solitude provides a safe space to explore our emotions without judgment or external pressures. Dissociative observation. Imagine solitude as a laboratory for observing your emotions. When we are alone, we have the opportunity to see our emotions objectively instead of being swept away by them. We can observe them like clouds moving across the sky. This distance allows us to react more intelligently instead of impulsively. Historical techniques. The ancients developed powerful techniques to deal with emotions on their own. One of them is anticipation, where we imagine difficult situations and practice calm and rational responses. Another technique is meditation on death, which helps us put our concerns into perspective and live in the present moment with gratitude. The ancients believed that we could transform our emotions into virtues. For example, fear can turn into courage, anger into self-discipline, and sadness into resilience. Solitude gives us space to reflect on our emotions, understand their origins, and channel their energy into virtuous actions. Clarity in decision-making. Now we will discuss a topic of great relevance: clarity in decision-making from a historical perspective. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the decisions you need to make? Solitude can be a reliable guide in this process. The decisive battle at life's crossroads. Decisions surround us like stars in the night sky. Often, the confusion and noise of external opinions can make it difficult to make the right decision. Solitude offers a space of silence and reflection to consider our options calmly and clearly. The refuge of solitude. Imagine solitude as a refuge in the midst of a storm. In difficult moments, we can step away from external voices and expectations to find inner comfort. Solitude offers a safe space to manage our emotions, reflect on the situation, and find the strength to face challenges with courage. Historical perspective on adversity. The Stoics saw adversity as an opportunity to strengthen the soul. In solitude, we can adopt a historical perspective and ask ourselves, what can I learn from this situation? How can I grow despite this challenge? Solitude allows us to transform adversity into an opportunity to cultivate virtues such as patience, discipline, and resilience. Mental training in solitude. Just as an athlete trains for physical strength, in solitude, we can train our minds to face challenges calmly. The ancients practiced anticipation of evil by imagining possible obstacles and how they would respond with resilience and independence. This spiritual practice allows us to proactively face challenges. Appreciation of simple things. We will now delve into a topic that connects us to joy and contentment: the appreciation of simple things. Have you ever felt that constantly seeking more hinders your happiness? Solitude can help you find happiness in simplicity. Desire for simplicity. In a society dominated by consumerism and the constant pursuit of novelty, the ancients remind us of the beauty of simplicity. Solitude offers a space to separate ourselves from the noise and observe the small joys we often overlook. It invites us to enjoy everyday moments and find satisfaction in what we already have. Relationship between satisfaction and solitude. The ancients considered joy an essential virtue for finding inner peace. Solitude helps us cultivate this virtue by allowing us to explore our relationship with the constant desire for more. In solitude, we question whether our desires are genuine or if we are simply caught in the relentless pursuit of more. Historical focus on gratitude. Gratitude is a pillar of historical philosophy. In solitude, we can practice gratitude by reflecting on the blessings in our lives, appreciating health, relationships, comfort, and the beauty around us. This helps us find happiness in the present instead of constantly seeking it in the future. Promoting internal dialogue. We now address a theme that invites us to dive deep into our minds, promoting internal dialogue. Have you ever wanted to have frank conversations with yourself? Solitude can be a space for self-discovery through dialogue. The art of internal dialogue, speaking to oneself, is like having a wise and compassionate friend in one's mind. In solitude, we engage in conversations with ourselves, discovering our thoughts, desires, and values. Solitude offers a safe space where we can speak without judgment, reflecting on our lives with tranquility. Space for deep contemplation. Imagine solitude as a reflective studio where you discover the deepest questions of your existence. When alone, you can take time to reflect on your decisions, goals, and direction. Internal dialogue allows you to ask questions, challenge beliefs, and explore new perspectives. The power of deep questions. The ancients believed in the power of reflective questions for self-discovery. In solitude, we can ask questions that awaken our inner wisdom. Questions like, what is truly important to me? What qualities do I wish to cultivate, and how can I live in harmony with nature? These questions guide us into a deep dialogue with ourselves, turning internal dialogue into action. Internal dialogue is not just thought but also action. In solitude, we can plan how to apply our reflections to everyday life. Internal dialogue helps us put wisdom into action, set goals, and make decisions aligned with our deepest values. Connection with nature and the universe. We now approach a theme that connects us to the vastness of the universe, connection with nature and the universe from a historical perspective. Faced with the immensity of the world around you, solitude can be your guide to discovering this deep connection. The universe as a teacher. The Stoics viewed the universe as a great teacher that contained lessons about the nature of life and virtue. In solitude, we can look at the stars in the sky and feel that we are part of something much larger than ourselves. This connection with the universe invites us to reflect on our existence and our role in the cosmic order. Reflection in nature. Imagine solitude as a bridge between your mind and nature. When alone, you can stroll through the forest, contemplate the sea, or simply enjoy the sunset. Solitude offers an opportunity to enjoy the natural beauty and reflect on how nature reflects historical virtues such as harmony and steadfastness. Mediocrity. The ancients believed in the relative triviality of human affairs compared to the cosmic order. In solitude, we can reflect on how our individual interests and desires disappear in the vast universe. This perspective helps us give less importance to trivialities and focus on cultivating virtues. Cultivation of virtue and wisdom. Finding harmony with nature was essential for the Stoics to achieve inner peace. In solitude, we can discover how our actions and decisions fit into the cosmic order. We reflect on how our choices affect others and the environment around us, cultivating virtue and inner tranquility. Now we come to a theme that summarizes the essence of Stoicism, the cultivation of virtue and inner peace. Have you ever wanted to live with wisdom and peace amid trials? Solitude can be your guide on this noble path. Virtue as the ultimate goal. For the ancients, virtue was the highest aspiration. Imagine virtue as a beacon guiding your actions and decisions in life. In solitude, you can reflect on how to live virtuously in different circumstances, finding inner peace. Inner tranquility is one of the most precious pillars of Stoicism. Amid the chaos of life, solitude helps you find a peaceful destination. You can meditate on how to maintain serenity in difficult situations and use solitude as an oasis to recharge emotionally. Solitude as a school of self-discipline. The ancients understood that self-discipline was essential to cultivate virtue and equanimity. Solitude provides space for you to practice self-discipline in small ways, such as resisting the temptation of distractions and focusing on what truly matters. This practice strengthens you to face the temptations and challenges of everyday life. Self-reflection and continuous improvement. Solitude is fertile ground for reflection and self-transcendence. In solitude, you can examine your past actions, identify areas where you can grow, and set goals to become a more ethical and balanced person. Solitude offers space to cultivate a continuous commitment to your personal growth. As we navigate modern life, we can apply these historical teachings, finding moments of solitude to cultivate self-sufficiency, face our emotions with serenity, make informed decisions, and, above all, seek virtue and inner tranquility. Remember that you have the power to create moments of solitude in your life, whether through meditation, nature contemplation, reflective reading, or dialogue with yourself. By doing so, you are following in the footsteps of the ancient Stoics and walking a path of self-discovery and spiritual growth. Thank you for watching and sharing this philosophical journey with us. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring content. Leave your comments and share your experiences with solitude and stoicism. Always remember that solitude can be a powerful ally on your journey to become the best version of yourself. Until next time, we should focus on improving ourselves for ourselves. We should do things for ourselves and only for that reason. Attaching any external hope or secondary attachment to the actions we perform almost always leads to disappointment. Most of the time, we try to fill this void with external things, spending money on a luxury car, a house, or even building a family. Sometimes, we do all these things for their external value, not their internal value. Stoicism teaches us to judge the success of our work based on the amount of effort we put in, not the results of our external hopes. We should trust the process. Living with less means letting go of the social anchors we engage in. This is the Stoic way to address our issues with happiness. We must practice self-love by redirecting our definition of value to things we can control. We can stop obsessing over things we cannot control, and in general, we can live a much happier and more satisfying life. Stoicism helps us navigate past and present storms toward calmer and more peaceful waters. After all, ancient philosophy flourished in different times, but its truths have spanned centuries. Today, its profound lessons offer guidance and strength to face the challenges of the modern world. Ancient philosophy also teaches us to embrace emotional resilience and acceptance. Through the words of historical philosophers and Buddhism, we learn to find peace and serenity even in turbulent times. Stoics like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius believed that true happiness was not in avoiding difficulties but in cultivating virtue and mastery even in the most adverse circumstances. They emphasize the importance of distinguishing between what is under our control, our attitudes, choices, and values, and what is not, external events and the behavior of others. By focusing only on what we can control and accepting what we cannot control, we can find inner peace. The search for purpose and meaning is a constant human pursuit. Exploring the works of existentialist philosophers like Sartre and Nietzsche, we discover how to forge an authentic path aligned with our deepest values. Stoicism also reminds us of the importance of relationships and community. Studying thinkers like Aristotle guides us to build genuine connections and nurture bonds that enrich our journey. While the Stoics' focus was on developing personal virtue and mastery, they did not advocate for isolation or indifference toward others. On the contrary, the Stoics believed that interpersonal relationships and community life were fundamental aspects of achieving virtue and happiness. Seneca, for example, wrote, "If you really want to escape the things that harass you, what you're needing is not to be in a different place but to be a different person." In conclusion, Stoicism provides timeless wisdom that transcends cultural and temporal boundaries. Its principles offer a practical guide for living a life of resilience, virtue, and tranquility in the face of life's uncertainties. As we delve into the Stoic philosophy, Let us embrace its teachings and strive to become architects of our own inner fortitude, capable of navigating the complexities of existence with wisdom and grace. Extensively discussing friendship and the importance of cultivating genuine and sincere relationships, he argued that friendship was one of life's most precious assets. He emphasized choosing friends who share similar values and goals. Furthermore, he stressed the need to be helpful to others and to contribute positively to society. Therefore, both Stoicism and other philosophical systems recognize the significance of human relationships and building a healthy community for the pursuit of a fulfilling and meaningful life. They encourage us to cultivate authentic connections that contribute to our moral and spiritual growth, enriching our personal journey. Our journey comes to an end, but the journey towards an unbeatable modern life has only just begun. By incorporating the ancient wisdom of philosophy, you'll be armed with tools to face any challenge and live with authenticity, purpose, and resilience. Join us in this quest for excellence and transcendence. Subscribe, share, and start the journey to become truly unbeatable, using historical philosophy to live a modern life of fulfillment and accomplishment. In this video, I wanted to talk to you about something that unfortunately happens to all of us in the morning. When we wake up, most of us don't feel like working or going to school. We spend our days wishing for work hours to end, yearning to get home and relax until the next day. Or we're constantly thinking about the weekend and the anxiety for it to arrive. Hating Mondays is common because we know we'll face a challenging work week. This unpleasant feeling leads many people to spend their days completely unmotivated and unwilling to do anything. Unfortunately, this behavior can result in depression or great unhappiness for those who suffer from it. In Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius delved deeply into this theme in his Meditations. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor who ruled from 161 to 180 BC. As emperor of the Roman Empire, he was the most powerful person in the world during his reign. He kept a personal journal where he recorded his daily reflections, and many years after his death, these reflections were published as meditations. Marcus Aurelius wrote the following: "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, 'I have to go to work, as a human being. What do I have to complain of, if I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do? Or is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm?'" After this reflection, Marcus Aurelius engages in a dialogue with himself and answers, "But it's nicer here. So you were born to feel nice? Instead of doing things and experiencing them? Don't you see the plants, the birds, the ants and spiders and bees going about their individual tasks, putting the world in order, as best they can? And you're not willing to do your job as a human being? Why aren't you running to do what your nature demands?" He goes on to say that we don't love ourselves enough because if we did, we would also love our nature and what it requires of us. People who love what they do dedicate themselves to it. Sometimes they forget to eat or wash. They have more respect for their own nature than the sculptor has for sculpture, the dancer for the dance, or the miser for money. When they are truly immersed in what they do, they prefer to skip meals and sleep, abandoning the practice of their arts. When Marcus Aurelius talks about work, he refers to the actions that a human must perform in their day-to-day life, not just professional work. With this reflection, we are encouraged to take responsibility for our time and actions. Imagine if he hadn't acted this way, he probably wouldn't be considered one of the 5 good emperors of the Roman Empire. As emperor, he had to lead the government and couldn't leave his tasks undone because all citizens of the Roman Empire depended on him. This can be applied to our lives as well. We weren't born to act like immobile, responsibility-free plants. We are human beings and must behave as such. Don't let the temptation of momentary pleasure cloud your judgment. There's no better feeling than knowing you acted correctly and responsibly. Nothing compares to the satisfaction of a job well done. You need to get up, you need to start working. Don't abandon your tasks, the moment is now because you don't know how much time you have. Marcus Aurelius noted this in his personal journal to remember it every day. We should do the same. When in the morning, you don't feel like getting up, fulfilling your responsibilities, or you're constantly thinking about the weekend or suffering because it's Monday, remember these words of Marcus Aurelius. Do you agree with Marcus Aurelius' reflection? Do you have any tricks to avoid this kind of negative thinking? I look forward to your response in the comments. Here are 10 historical quotes to help you start your day right. The only way to happiness is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. Begin the day by reminding yourself that the inner strength is more valuable than any external one. We are not disturbed by things, but by the view which we take of them. Another's prosperity is not my misfortune. Marcus Aurelius. The secret of happiness is freedom, and the secret of freedom, courage. Do not expect events to happen as you would wish. Accept whatever happens, and you will be at peace. What upsets people is not things themselves, but their judgments about these things. Life is short, and the only time to achieve one's own happiness is the present. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Epictetus. Wake up with determination. Go to bed with satisfaction. Unknown. If you're watching this video, it's probably because procrastination is a fundamental problem in your life. In my case, most of my problems arose due to procrastination. When you stop doing what you should and postpone things, all sorts of problems start to arise. Your productivity decreases, anxiety appears in your life, and you start to avoid responsibility. The worst part is the constant feeling that you're not doing what you should. Historical figures were very concerned about procrastination. We have examples of historical philosophers like Seneca or Marcus Aurelius who had many responsibilities in their lives and couldn't allow themselves to procrastinate. It's not easy because we prefer instant gratification over making an effort. Although I've talked about this in depth in my video on discipline, which I recommend you watch after finishing this video, discipline and avoiding procrastination complement each other. If you're watching this video, it's because you want to change, you want to start being productive and take control of your mind and actions. Overcoming procrastination will also make you happier because you'll feel at peace with yourself by acting responsibly. It seems unbelievable that Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and historical philosopher, had the same hours in a day as you and I to do his work and fulfill his responsibilities. How did he have time to be an emperor, rule the largest and most powerful empire of antiquity, take care of his wife, create laws, attend trials, lead armies, and guide the Roman people to overcome a terrible plague? All this while being just and not falling into vices or temptations that other emperors succumbed to. The key to Marcus Aurelius' success is that he always had a routine, developed habits in his life that allowed him to overcome laziness and avoid procrastination. In the end, the key to not procrastinating is to have a routine. Marcus Aurelius turned all his responsibilities into a fundamental part of his life, just like we need to eat, wash, and sleep. He turned these responsibilities into indispensable activities to the point that he couldn't live without fulfilling them. All the historical figures understood, just like Aristotle, that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. For example, Marcus Aurelius started his day early at dawn. When he woke up, he understood that he was getting up to do the work of a human being. There was no time for him to stay in bed, so he started his day by writing in his personal journal. Dedicating a few minutes to reflect on your thoughts and organize your mind, remembering what was important, he would then prepare himself to face his responsibilities and the people around him, telling himself that the people he would encounter today would be disrespectful and ungrateful, trying to irritate and frustrate him. Marco Aurelius knew he couldn't allow these people to affect his judgment and happiness. He was clear that he had to act as he deemed right. After this, Marco Aurelius would start with his most important responsibilities because he wanted to tackle them when he was rested and ready to work. He would focus on the task at hand like a Roman, acting as if it were the most important thing. As he mentioned in his meditations, as seen in his routine, there is no room for procrastination. You might be wondering how you can act like Marco Aurelius and overcome procrastination, how you can prepare mentally, and what tricks you can follow. I'll explain 7 tricks that have personally helped me avoid procrastination, dividing them into 2 parts. The first part will be about preparing the mind not to procrastinate, and the second part will cover actions we can take to overcome procrastination. Part 1. Prepare the mind. Shift your focus. Procrastination is a first-world problem. We procrastinate because we can afford to. Increase the sense of urgency by setting your own deadlines for tasks. This will enhance your urgency to work and help overcome procrastination. Avoid low-level distractions. When procrastinating, we often engage in low-level distractions that don't bring any benefits. Recognize these distractions and eliminate them. Work first and enjoy later. Reorganize your responsibilities. Break down difficult or time-consuming tasks into smaller, more manageable parts. Facing responsibilities in this way can help overcome procrastination. Part 2. Actions. Take the first step. The hardest part for a procrastinator is starting the task. Once you start, you overcome the most challenging part. Force yourself to begin without worrying about how long it will take or how difficult it is. The 5-second rule: count from 5 to 0 and start the task when you reach 0. Empty your mind, don't overthink, just start. Personally, this trick has been very effective for me in overcoming hesitation. Pomodoro technique. Divide your work time into manageable chunks using the Pomodoro technique. Work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. After 4 cycles, take a 20-minute break. This helps you face work in manageable 25-minute intervals, maintaining focus. Eliminate distractions. Design an environment that makes procrastination difficult. Remove all distractions from your workspace. By identifying and eliminating what prevents you from working, you create an environment where procrastination is not easy. Liked these tips to avoid procrastination? Do you apply any other tricks? Share your thoughts in the comments. Remember, discipline is essential to effectively apply these tricks. Without the discipline and the desire to change, we won't achieve anything. Welcome back to another video on the channel. In today's video, we'll explore a fascinating topic deeply rooted in historical philosophy: solitude. Historically, solitude was seen as a tool for self-discovery and personal growth. Today, we'll delve into 10 benefits of solitude from a historical perspective and how you can apply them in your modern life. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more philosophical content. You can also share your thoughts in the comments. Before we dive into its benefits, let me briefly introduce you to the world of Stoicism and how solitude plays a significant role in this life philosophy. Unlike how modern society often perceives it, the ancients did not view solitude as a source of sadness. Instead, they considered it a valuable space for introspection, self-discovery, and moral growth. In a noisy and distracting world, the Stoics saw solitude as a wise teacher, offering moments of peace and isolation in which we can confront our true feelings, desires, and values without the masks we wear in society. First, pursuit of self-sufficiency. The ancients embraced self-sufficiency, or inner independence, and emotional control. In solitude, they found a way to develop this self-sufficiency, as being alone meant not relying on others' opinions or expectations for peace and happiness. Solitude allowed them to build internal strength unaffected by external fluctuations. Second, deep self-knowledge. Solitude provides a safe space to look inward, exploring the hidden corners of our minds and hearts that we rarely consider. Imagine solitude as a mirror reflecting the true self quietly, enabling us to face the truth within us and discover what truly motivates us. Third, profound autonomy development. The development of autonomy, or self-governance, resonates deeply in historical philosophy. The power of self-sufficiency lies in disconnecting from external distractions and noise to focus on oneself. Autonomy can be seen as an armor protecting us from external influences when we are constantly alone. Fourth, practice of internal dialogue. An influential aspect of self-awareness is internal dialogue. Picture yourself alone, engaging in a conversation as if with an intellectual and compassionate friend, reflecting on your choices, desires, and mistakes. This sincere dialogue helps you understand yourself better, leading to decisions aligned with your true nature and values. Fifth, cultivation of inner strength. Solitude allows the cultivation of inner strength that remains unshaken by external circumstances. It provides an opportunity to detach from the world's distractions and concentrate on oneself, reducing external impacts. Independence acts as a shield, protecting us from the ever-changing opinions of the external world. These are just a few benefits of embracing solitude from a historical perspective. Applying these insights to modern life can lead to a deeper understanding of oneself and a more resilient and self-sufficient way of navigating the complexities of the world. If you found these historical tips on solitude beneficial, let me know in the comments. What are your thoughts on the advantages of solitude? Remember, the path to lasting peace lies within. Please help me share this world with as many people as possible. You just need to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate the help. Thank you all.